stole it, so we just get better at it.
This our house. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
You're a legend, man.
Congrats, man. You're awesome. Amazing, man. Yeah, let's keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Big guy.
Seeing them, bro. You're unbelievable.
Figure it out. Congratulations, big guy. Congrats, every day to go, baby. Hey, amazing year,
Proud of you, buddy.
Amazing year. Can't wait to get going back with you again next year, baby. Let's get it.
I bet you're breaking those things off.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Proud of you, bro.
Yes, sir.
What a year.
Thanks for having me.
Come on, man. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Hey, why I'm back?
Beyond the legend.
So before the Bucs can really go for two, let's look back on their top 10 postseason plays. Starting at number 10, Brady to Antonio Brown, wild card round, 36-yard score for the Bucs' first TD of the 2020 playoffs. Of course, beat Washington 31-23. Number 9, Bucs and Chiefs from the Super Bowl. Here he is, Lombardi Lenny. 27-yard run, untouched in for the score. Finished with 16 carries and 89 yards. At number 8, Bucs and Saints, divisional round here. Breeze looking for Alvin Kamara, but he's picked off by Devin White. Then gets physical on the return. Brought it back 28 yards into the red zone. 2 of 3 interceptions. Breeze through. At number 7, Bucs and Chiefs go back to Tampa here and check out the deflection for the interception by Antoine Winfield Jr. Signature play in a fantastic rookie campaign. At number 6, NFC Championship game, Bucs and Packers. How about Aaron Rodgers gets picked off here by Sean Murphy bunting tail into the first half. Would be a crucial setup for this play. Ensuing possession. Number 5, Scotty Miller, 39-yard touchdown to get the Bucs another 6 before the end of the first half. At number 4, Bucs and Packers again. Tom Brady, yes, to Chris Godwin, who goes up and makes the play in front of Darnell Savage, 52-yard catch. And more from Godwin in a moment. Back to Tampa, Bucs and Chiefs. Brady, Gronk, 2 tutties. As you heard them celebrate after the game, those TDs, Brady and Gronkowski setting the playoff record for most passing touchdowns by a quarterback pass catcher tandem in NFL history with 14. At number 2, Bucs and Pack once again here. Godwin catch earlier led to this Leonard Fournette run up the middle, spin outside, then a dive for the 20-yard score. Bucs, of course, winning that game to earn a berth in Super Bowl 55. And at number 1, yeah, you knew where we're going with this one. Come on, a little bit closer, just a little bit closer. And Tom with the toss. Cameron Brate with the catch. High degree of risk on that one, but it pays off, as did Tom's first season in Tampa. And with that, let's get you now to Next Gen Stats, powered by AWS. The Tom Brady effect on Chris Godwin was real. Bucs passer rating when targeting Godwin went up more than 16 points. That per Next Gen Stats, with a higher catch rate over expected and more separation this season. Godwin joining Good Morning Football this morning to talk about the impact Tom Brady had on this team and his ever-evolving celebration techniques.
It's been so great just having Tom. He's such a pro, you know, and I would say, you know, I think it's unquestionable at this point. You know, he's the greatest of all time. So just being there and being a part of this whole process and watching him, you know, learn some new guys and learn how to figure out how to win in a different area. You know, it was so impressive, and just like being me, like a young player and ascending player, trying to be a sponge to all the knowledge that he has.
Brady knows how to throw a dime on the field, but he tossed the Lombardi in the air. Now, what was everybody thinking? Did you see it or did you hear about it? Were you paying attention? Like, what was going through your mind when all that went down?
Now, I saw it happening. I didn't think he was really going to throw the trophy. I'm not going to lie. Like, you know, like this is Mariah's story, and she's like right behind me. And I'm like, he's about to throw the Lombardi. I'm like, there's no way he's going to throw it. And like, we're getting closer and closer. I'm like, I'm like, we got to get over there in case they drop this or something. Like, the Lombardi cannot go in the river. I'm like, somebody's going to go dive in if it does. But you know, we got some boys with some good hands on that, you know, and they snagged it. So shout out to my dogs, man.
That's awesome. As we get you back now to our latest headlines here. Twin brothers and Pro Bowl mainstays at center Mike and Marquise Pouncer together announcing their retirement from the NFL today. Marquise wraps up his career 9 Pro Bowls in 11 seasons, all with the Steelers, while his brother Mike suited up for 10 years with the Dolphins and Chargers. Marquise posted, quote, "As I write this farewell speech, I cry and laugh that twin boys from Lakeland, Florida that grew up in poverty made it this far in life, both living out their NFL dreams." Congrats to the Townsend family. And in case you missed it, recapping our top story of the day, the Texans releasing three-time Defensive Player of the Year J.J. Watt after 10 seasons in Houston. Watt asking for his release as the time appears to be moving into a rebuilding phase there in Houston. That request granted on the heels of quarterback Deshaun Watson asking to be traded. More on that in a moment. Not long ago, though, the suggestion to make a trade for Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson would have been laughed at. What a difference a year makes, right? After the break, the best fits for two of the league's best quarterbacks, who shockingly might be on the move. And Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to start and win the Super Bowl back in 1988. His race was a major storyline. Today, black quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes represent the face of football, a journey that will be told in a special Black History Month documentary, Game Changer, airing February 21st as part of NFL 360. Here now, a preview of that story with perspective from some well-known voices outside the game on what makes Mahomes so special.
The ball comes your way, fly around and makes on him. Oh, let's get it, baby.
Patrick Mahomes is a wizard.
He's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever come in the league.
He can throw a no-look pass. He can run. He can escape. He can throw deep.
The way he reads the field, the way he keeps plays alive. Just being smart enough to know how to put pressure on the defense.
He's just immensely talented and immensely fun to watch.
Unreal. Mahomes threw across his body on 4th down and 9 for 48 yards.
Patrick Mahomes gets $450 million.
I love seeing Patrick Mahomes sign the biggest contract in NFL history. I love seeing these amazing, talented, great leaders get the opportunity to be paid what they're worth.
Give me a call, Pat. I need a few bucks, dog.
That's progress. It's progress that so many young black men are being entrusted with billion-dollar franchises and being paid commensurate to what their value is to the team. I would like to see more black coaches. I would like to see more black people in ownership and in upper management in these franchises. I believe that will happen too. And I think part of how that happens is having more black quarterbacks.
And you can catch our Black Quarterbacks documentary, Game Changer, as a part of our Black History Month special edition of NFL 360, February 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So Mahomes has taken the league by storm in his short career. Expectations, though, are nearly Mahomes-like for Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, predicted by our Daniel Jeremiah to be the #1 overall pick in this spring's NFL draft. He had his own personal pro day of sorts today on campus at Clemson, and his college coach Dabo Swinney telling our Jane Slater the sky is the limit for his celebrity status.
He'll be a global NFL star. He'll be an international superstar. You know, I don't know how many of those we've had in the NFL, but he has a presence with his helmet on or off. And so, you know, even if he cut his hair, you know, he's special, and I really think that he has that in him, and he's going to be a great player for a long time. He's going to be a great player the first day he gets wherever he's going. But I do think that he's a guy that has the potential from literally a global standpoint to have that type of reach.
And it's not just Dabo saying that about Lawrence back here with Terrell Davis and D'Angelo Hall. You guys might remember what he said about Deshaun Watson ahead of the draft. You don't pass up Michael Jordan, right? Speaking of Deshaun Watson, big piece of the quarterback carousel as we get closer to free agency, has requested a trade from the Houston Texans. They say that they have no intention of trading the player. So let's dig into some of the scenarios here, starting with Watson, TD. If the Texans make the move, who's the best fit?
Well, if they make the move, to me, the Pittsburgh Steelers is the best move. You know, think about this. You know, Ben Roethlisberger, all the old quarterbacks, people can't imagine them leaving their places, but Tom Brady left. Phillip Rivers had to leave. Most quarterbacks are going to go at some point. And I think right now you bring Deshaun Watson to Pittsburgh along with J.J. Watt, as I mentioned earlier. With that team, now that puts them in championship mode. They already have a top 5 defense, so Pittsburgh Steelers get Deshaun Watson.
Hey, D. Hall, we got to tell TD that the Steelers already have a GM, all right? They don't need any other help here. What do you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. Shoot, I want to send him to the 49ers. When I think about Kyle Shanahan wanting to go get Matthew Stafford, that not working out, him seeing his offense work so well, right, for Matt LaFleur in Green Bay with an elite quarterback, him seeing his buddy Sean McVay get an elite quarterback in Matthew Stafford, I think Deshaun Watson would be the creme de la creme, and I think Kyle definitely wants to try to get a chance to get his hands on Deshaun Watson.
God, think about the QB mobility and that play-action-based offense there. I mean, that would be some fun to watch with Deshaun Watson in San Francisco. Let's move on here to Carson Wentz, coming off the worst season of his career. Of course, now his future uncertain, was benched for Jalen Hurts. Eagles seem to be taking calls about Wentz, trade talk heating up here. If they make the move, TD, what's the best fit for Wentz?
Yeah, for me, I think the best place for Wentz is going to Indianapolis with his old coach Frank Reich, and a place where they can kind of build his confidence up again. Right now, the young man's confidence has been shot. He's gone through a lot last year with being benched. And so going to that place that's surrounded by a very good offensive line, a team that went to the playoffs last year, and, of course, Phillip Rivers retired, so there's a void there where he can come in and be there for a long time. So for me, Indy seems to be the perfect fit for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, the coaching connection there with Frank Reich, of course. D. Hall, who do you see as a good fit for Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I think TD has a career, man. He might can get 2 gold jackets as an executive and as a running back, because I want to see him in Indy, too. You think about Press Taylor, who was in Philly with Carson Wentz, going over to Indy, the connection with Frank Reich. I just think it's a match made in heaven. I would love to see Carson stay in Philly and battle, but I think mentally he needs to move on and go somewhere else, and that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, guys, Bears, one of the other teams that are talked about in the Carson Wentz sweepstakes, who just promoted John DeFilippo to passing coordinator, who was the quarterback coach for Carson Wentz back in his near MVP run in 2017. So you think about that as well. I still struggle with the fact that we're bringing up Russell Wilson's name in this conversation as a potential trade, but he's voiced his frustration about getting hit too much, wants more say in personnel. Seahawks are taking calls, TD. If they find the right suitor here, what do you think the best fit could be for Russ?
This might be a selfish move on my part, but I'd like to see Russell in the Mile High City. I'd like to see him in the Mile High City with the Denver Broncos. Make that trade. And I get it. You got just a whole, just enriches with young talent on that offense upside of the ball. And the quarterback right there with his ability, the mobility that he has, going to a team that's always going to have a really good defense. Now, I know right now the offensive line needs some work. Bowles had a better season this year at left tackle, so he's going to be a really good left tackle. Jawan James opted out for COVID. He'll be back so they can rebuild that offensive line, but get my man Russ in the Mile High City.
Okay, I think TD's doing his best to get another one of those Lombardis behind him in the Mile High City. What about you, D. Hall?
Yeah, man, TD went played his homer card. I'm going to play mine, man. Hey, look. Washington, we've been struggling trying to find a quarterback for a while. Russ, come cook in VA, man. You from VA, right? Russ is from Richmond, grew up a couple hours from me. I would love to see Russ come back home and cook in the nation's capital. Already has a championship-level defense. They need that leader at the offensive position, man. I love Alex Smith, but what Russell Wilson would bring to that team, unmatched.
Yeah, certainly feels like there's still some uncertainty as a starter yet to be identified for Washington. I mean, I like